found a chair. Hopefully you all did too. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Momentum Builder. Good news, bad news. Good news is Bill Hart's here. Bad news is he's got to go early. So we're going to make the most of the 30 minutes that we've got. Sonia mentioned earlier, if you didn't hear it, feel free to use the reactions. I'm seeing some hearts and some celebratory. Those are probably all for Coach, not for me. I'll take it.
Come on, that's
And,
not true.
if you've
They're
got
all for you.
questions or comments, feel free to throw those in the chat while we go through this. And without further ado, I don't think you need an introduction. Everyone knows who you are. So let's just dive in. Coach, what are you seeing out there
Cool.
right now?
Well, this is an interesting time, is it not? March 21st, 2024. I've never seen anything like this, and I've been in the business 30 years.
Yeah.
It's just a really interesting time, Sasha. And I was looking through your social earlier today, just realizing I didn't know you well enough yet, and I want to know more about you. And there was a post that where you spoke about being without a job in January, and that you went to the IMB conference and that you met a bunch of people that said, "Man, we'd love to hire you, but we can't for one reason or another." And everybody understands that in the crazy time that we're in right now. And then you went back and you regrouped and you said, would you be interested in a fractional relationship? And I just think that was so wise of you. And it's so indicative of where I want to take this today, because I think there's a lot of conversation around pivoting and that all sounds good, but as a coach, I want to be able to equip people to do that just as you would. And I certainly want to enable you to just like chime in whenever. I know you've got tons of experience. You've written one book on your own, two with co-authors, if I understand that correctly. You've
Yeah.
certainly been in the coaching seat for a while. You really know this business. So I don't want to just start blabbing and not have it be interactive. I've also learned that from my wife, that that's a bad idea. Like, bad idea.
Spouses are always the best place to practice.
Exactly. So here's where I sit. I remember when I was with Building Champions before I joined Movement, during COVID, it was the weirdest time, you guys. So remember back to the pandemic. It is the strangest time. Rates are low. We're all doing well, but waiters and waitresses and restaurants are closing down and retail's suffering, and 6 feet and masks and gyms outside, and wherever you fall on that, that was the reality, right? Like that's what was going on. And so what I was noticing, Sasha, I'll bet you saw the same thing. I was talking to a lot of clients that were just struggling with the reality of like survivor's guilt. It was the weirdest place to say, I'm doing really well, but the rest of the world is suffering. I mean, unless you're in the mask or the N95 or hand sanitizer business, like it
Or
wasn't
toilet
good. And
paper and paper towels, by the way.
oh, exact toilet paper
Paper
for
product.
sure. Dude, I've still got some $60 toilet paper, one ply,
Like,
that I bought on eBay in my garage. I'm not kidding. And it's just for the Armageddon moment when
yeah,
the zombies come. It's like I'm still covered for that.
perfect. That, or if you want to go toilet paper someone's house and go back to high school days,
Well, there's that, right?
Right.
There's that. So that was a weird, crazy time. And then we come out of that and it's good for a while, and then it's this, right? It's this. And we got a whole bunch of people in the mortgage industry that recognize that we have people in our database with 2 and 3% interest rates, and we can't really help them right now if they just view 30-year fixed versus 30-year fixed, right? That's not a good play. And then I'm going to share my screen now to kind of just give you a little demo of what I see. This is the Oppenheimer moment that hit when it was announced, when NAR announced the settlement and what all of that was going to look like, right? You guys, yeah, thank you for the reactions there. It's like the industry just suddenly, our hair was blown back. Palm trees are flying over where you and I live. Those might be pine trees in other parts of the country. But it's like, holy cow, in addition to everything else, now we have this going on with buyers brokers and all the confusion that's around that. Like, oh my goodness. Sasha, you and I were just talking about the fact that you and I are both going to be at Housing Wire, the gathering next month in your backyard. I hope you guys can join us, by the way. Hope you can make it. I'm going to be there with Kyle Draper, talking about his new book, Rethink Everything You Know About Being a Next Gen Loan Officer, because it's so relevant. And so, if we think about this crazy time, and I hate to have that image up so long, but I want to just take us to what this means. Where this leads us, you guys, is to the fight, flight, or freeze response. Fight, flight, or freeze. So fight is, I don't know what to do, so I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm mad at my boss, I'm mad at the industry, I'm mad at NAR, I'm mad at Keller Williams, I'm mad at everybody, right? I'm just mad. And so I want to fight. And the other reaction is, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to run away from this. This is crazy. And we know we've had a lot of people that have flown the business. They have flown the business. I think the last numbers I have, and nobody's got exact numbers on this, but maybe at our peak we had 180,000 loan officers, and maybe this year we're going to end up with about 50,000 or so. And I think everybody's encouraged by that, Sasha, because it's like, well, okay, good. The dabblers have left the business.
Yeah.
But the volume is still so low, and potential volume is so low at the moment, that I've never heard of so many people in my life, Sasha, I'm wondering if you're hearing the same thing, who are telling me they've either had goose eggs or like one loan last month.
Yep.
And these are people that in the past were doing 5 to 7, maybe 10 loans a month. And it's just, it's so different. And then the third reaction is to freeze. And man, there's a lot of freezing going on right now. And that's kind of what I want to speak to is, it's easy to freeze and scroll on your phone and binge watch Netflix and get your car washed and, get your nails done and whatever. But you're not doing anything proactive. And so I believe that we're at a time. Yeah. Thank you guys for the reactions there. That's just real. So I think we have to recognize that this is what we're all experiencing to some degree,
Yep.
that this is what's happening in our brain right now. And it's jacked and it's crazy and it's weird. And so, that what we promoted was like, what are the 3 things you should be doing right now? And I'm going to give you 3 versions of this. So one is decide, commit, and succeed. I know that's a very subtle slide. That's just like me, very subtle. So you got to decide, right? Like decide what you're going to do, how you're going to go about it, when you're going to do it, commit to it, and then success will follow. So decide, commit, succeed. This is one that we used to talk about at Building Champions years ago. The second one is what the Navy SEALs say. Many of you have heard Jocko talking about this. My all-time favorite leadership book is Extreme Ownership. And in it, he talks about how the SEALs in combat, in a chaotic environment, life or death situation, are taught to relax, look around, make a call, meaning make a decision, not like phone a friend, just like for the record. Yeah, it's like make a decision, do something. So relax, look around, make a call. And then the last one, the one that I want to kind of park on, is this one that I posted yesterday, which is don't panic. You got to fight the panic, stop, assess, and redeploy. And these are the conversations I'm having every day, not just with people inside my company, but Sasha, I've been in the business for so long. I have so many former clients that are friends that I coached for 10, 12, 15 years. I mean, we still talk, like we still talk, right? That stuff is still going to happen. As a result, sorry, I just want to make sure. Anybody else having trouble with the audio, or are we okay? I'm going to assume it's okay since nobody else chimed in on that. So this is the game right now, and I want to equip people a little bit on this. And Sasha, you may or may not have something along these lines. I know that I haven't read your book, but I read the description of it on Amazon, and it sounds like you have an assessment of some sort that you might point people to. This is a super simple one, you guys. It's free. If you just write down that website at the bottom, or if somebody could drop it into chat, that'd be great. It's wheeloflife.noomii, don't ask me, Noomii. Yeah, I don't know. It was apparently available.com. Imagine that. Wheeloflife.noomii.com was available when somebody went shopping for the URL. So I just did this one this morning for me. It's free. You can go in and do it in 60 seconds. And it's just going to ask you in your, we would call these accounts at Building Champions, health account, career account, love account, spirituality account, family account, money account, fun account, and friends account. I mean, you guys will see where I am right now. Like arguably, okay, coach, you got to work on health. Yep, I do for sure. But I'm rocking at career and love, pretty darn strong in spirituality, family, money, fun, and friends. And I would hope at my age that's the case, right? Like I would hope that's the case. But if you're 30 and you've been in the mortgage industry for 3 years, like you're going to have a lot of stuff down close to the hub of the wheel there. You're going to have a bunch of twos and threes. Thank you so much, Sonia, for throwing that in there. Okay, so Sasha, tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I wanted you to finish your thought process, but one of my favorite practices that I've done more than once in my career, because as you mentioned earlier in the call, we do pivot and we do have things that change. And I love kind of combining these two. Like this helps you take a snapshot in time of like, how do I feel about all these different areas in my life?
Mm,
Ikigai really looks at the intersection of, and I'm probably gonna botch it, but like, what are you good at? What can you get paid for? Where can you give back to the world? And what like services or what qualities or functions, do you do well? And then when you bring all that together at the intersection, you can usually figure out from a career perspective, like what you want to pursue or like where your
nice.
passion and purpose is going to be driven, but you're also going to make money at it and be able to continue forward. So I like combining the two because the Ikigai doesn't really look at how do I feel about, am I having fun in my life and being social or, am I spending enough time with my family or friends? So I think the two of them married together are nice exercises.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's a good tip for me. I've made a note of that. I'm not as particular as to what you guys decide to do. I just think it's time to kind of get off the escalator for a minute and just take a deep breath and say, okay,
Yeah.
like am I in? Am I all in? Or am I maybe thinking I should do something different? I think that's a legitimate question to ask yourself. And if you're all in, then we have some other questions that we need to start looking at, and you'll identify your own gaps, right? So if you say, actually, business is pretty strong for me right now, but love and health are not good. Well, okay, we know where we need to focus. Most of you right now are probably going to have a low money account, a relatively low career account, just because of the weird time that we're in. So all I'm asking people to do is step off the escalator for a minute, stop and look at where you are. Then I would suggest doing a SWOT analysis. And if you've never done this, you guys, it's super easy to use. You don't need a tool. It's just 4 words. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my opportunities? And what are the threats that are out there? So, as an example, I was just talking to a client yesterday, a client who did in the day well over $200 million a year. That's a ton of volume, a
Mm-hmm.
ton of volume. So, the thing that he took me through is I believe these are my strengths, and they were all sort of uh, there were training, consultative, I can help people. Um, but his weaknesses, so that was his strength. His weaknesses, so it's all kind of expository on the strength side. His weaknesses were systems. Like I'm not patient with systems. I'm not great with systems. I've done okay historically in this business without systems because there were always new leads coming in. And I think everybody can relate on this call. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with this. Like, well, yeah, those days are not happening at the moment, like where the phone is just ringing, or if I need more business, I just send out a text or an email and, hey, I think I can save you $300 a month. Like, boom, I filled my pipeline. Those days are not here. So we have to thank you for the thumbs up. So we have to look at what are our weaknesses. For him, it was, I need those systems in place. And the conversation we had for him may or may not be applicable for you was, you know what? There's somebody out there within a 10-mile radius of you right now where you live. And this is true for each of you, by the way, if you happen to relate to this story. Um, where there's somebody out there who is brilliant at systems, loves putting them together, loves managing them, but they're not a hunter. And so they don't know how to go out and get the business. But what a great team member they would be for you because you're a hunter and you're
Yeah.
a trainer and you're an educator and you're a consultant, but you're not great at putting the systems together. And when it comes time to make that decision, by the way, you're not going to offer them a huge guarantee because you can't afford it any more than those people that Sasha was talking to in January. You know, it's like, man, we love you and I'd love to pay you tons of money, but I just can't do it right now. So find somebody maybe who's working at home in a sweatshirt and their bunny slippers who can give you a couple of hours a day. Like, you don't need a full-time employee. You don't, most of you. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. What are the opportunities? With everything that's happening with NAR right now, you guys, here's my strong encouragement. 80-20, 20% Netflix, 80% YouTube. And right now, you start researching NAR settlement and YouTube, and you're going to be bored to tears, inspired, educated, bored to tears. Like, you just got to know. Some of the CNBC stuff is like, seriously. But Ryan Serhan nails it, and there's just a lot of great stuff. Mortgage Coach has got a lot of great stuff. We have to look at the opportunities in this, and there are opportunities for us. The realtors don't see it just yet, and they're going to be afraid of this. And we may have some realtors on this call right now. Dude, their world is rocked. Their world is rocked right now because there was an expectation of the way that compensation was always handled. And now that is just being fundamentally threatened, which leads us into the last one there, which is threats. What are the threats? So one threat is there are some large companies that are right now building call centers. Kid you not, they're building call centers in anticipation of rates dropping, and then they're just going to like release the hounds, right? So that's a threat. Those people trigger leads. Those are threats for us out there. We need to know how to deal with those. So I would do a SWOT analysis, Sasha. And do you want to comment on SWOT? I assume you're a
I've
proponent
used,
as well.
yes, back to the, days of being in a business major for college all the way through to today. I've definitely used the concept and framework many times, and it is simple, but it's profound,
Yeah,
particularly if you really put the time and effort into it. So I love
for
that idea.
sure.
I am curious. I mean, I don't want to get too controversial, but I was just
Bring it.
recently out at the National Advocacy Conference, and Bob from MBA, the president, took a pretty strong stance on the idea of loan officers potentially also becoming realtors. And I don't know how many loan officer versus realtors we have out there, but I would love to see in the comments how you feel about it, because I've never been a loan officer, but I certainly have my own emotional response to that. And
Mm,
if anyone's brave enough to share, you can put yourself as anonymous if need be. But like, it's not a bad thing to look at the opportunities, to your point, when the climate changes.
you
The
bet.
question is that something that's actually realistic? And if it is, do people want to do that?
For sure.
Will companies support it, right? Or are there other opportunities to pivot to other things to address the changes that are going to be ever happening in this climate that we work in? So
I think that's so well said. And I do think you have to approach everything with everything being on the table right now.
yeah.
It is easy to move into any situation like this with a confirmation bias,
Hmm.
which just means in your head you've already decided. Like really, my confirmation bias on that topic is, well, okay, do I want a hematologist, radiologist who's also a plumber? Like,
Exactly.
probably not. But and that's an easy thing for people to nod their heads to. But honestly, I mean, who knows? That may well be a trend that we start to see. I just got an email from somebody the other day that was forwarding an email from a realtor
Hmm.
who was throwing their hat in the ring, saying, "Hey, can I also originate loans for movement?" So the point is those kind of conversations are going to start coming up. I always just view this, Sasha, is I view the herd. This sounds so judgmental, and I don't really mean it this way, but it's the way it's going to sound. So here we go. The
Sure.
the herd is the group of people that in a supermarket they all go to one line, and then you're the person that looks around and goes, "Oh, I can go over here to the photo counter, and I don't have to wait."
Right.
So if we look at what the herd reaction is, and then instead decide to separate ourselves from that, I think you're the one that's probably going to have more choices available to you that are consistent with who you are and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't follow the herd, I guess is what I would say
Yeah.
there. So
Absolutely.
now what do you do? Now you've stepped back, you've looked at your life, you've looked at your business, you've done a SWOT analysis. I am an enormous fan of the Win by Noon planner, you guys. And there it is right there, the Win by Noon planner. This is an example of that page. And this is 20 bucks a month, like 20 bucks a month. I don't care if you're an Outlook user, if you use your phone, I understand all of that. These are desperate times. Desperate times require desperate measures, which might be you using paper in a spiral bound notebook. And it's because I want you as a coach, if I coached you one on one, I want you to plan your week. And Sasha, I know you buy into this. I want you to plan your week on Sunday. So when you look at, and there it is, right? So when you look at your week on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, you know, okay, I've got my, in this example, morning routine, clear email and voicemail, lead in that follow up, and then plan the week on Monday in this case. The same would be true with loan status updates, pre-approval calls, realtor calls, thematic time blocking. And then one of the things that we've learned in coaching in the 20 years I've been doing this is you must schedule reactivity time in your calendar. So you'll see there from whatever that is, one to three is react time, because stuff goes sideways. Things are on fire. You have to deal with those. People who try and overtime block their days end up running away screaming because they didn't have enough time. It doesn't work. So I would highly recommend Win by Noon. And then ultimately, this is what the day looks like. This is what the day looks like in terms of, okay, top three is an example. Top center there, it says meet with Brandy. Here's what I want you to think about, you guys, because Sasha, this is what I'm hearing from people, and I'm not exaggerating when I say every single day.
Mhm.
People say it to me differently and they say it in confidence, but they say, I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. Well, if you can relate to that, you guys, and you can respond to that anonymously with a thumbs up or whatever symbol you can find. And if you find a nuclear cloud, feel free to use that one. But that's the thing, right? That feeling of there's a million things I could do. I don't know what I should do. So I'm frozen.
Mhm.
And then I'm not doing anything. The beauty of this planner is it will force you to think about what are the three things, or as baseball players say three things that I need to do today that if nothing else gets done today, those non-negotiables are going to happen. So those are your top three. On the left side is your calendar. In the upper right-hand corner is just a quick glimpse of gratitude. You guys are
That
probably not focused a lot on gratitude right now,
need to
but
be.
you start writing down, yeah, I mean, these examples, a great weekend, time with my parents, my team. Once you start doing this for a while, you're going to be like, I'm grateful for eyelashes and butterflies and
It's true, but
spores.
it puts you in
Yeah,
the right mindset, right? And
totally does.
science has proven that it can shift you from a place of being unhappy, depressed, anxious into a more positive state.
For
And
sure.
people want to talk to you when you're in a more positive state, right?
That's
And
it.
you're all in roles where you got to be in front of people, whether on camera or in person every day. So why not start your day from that place of center and gratitude so that people are more attracted to the energy that you bring to those conversations?
Listen to what that woman just said. Like that's it. That's it in a nutshell. And I've argued my entire life I'm like the world's eternal optimist. I did a video recently talking about Tigger and Eeyore. You know, I'm much closer on the Eeyore scale, I mean on the Tigger scale than the Eeyore scale. But it's because I recognize I'm attracted to positivity.
Yes.
People are attracted to my positivity. And I'm not saying like be a buffoon and, everything's going to be great,
Yeah.
whatever. But you know what? People do want to be around positive people. And the best way to do that, as you say, is to make sure that we focus on gratitude. The next thing down below that is the activity tracker. So you can just start putting a line through partner calls, lead and client calls that you make, quality conversations, you guys. Right now in the mortgage business, it's all about quality conversations. And my clients are telling me right now, Sasha, those conversations are taking much more time than they used to.
Yep.
People are afraid, they're uncertain, they don't know what to do, they don't know what their options are, and we need more time.
Yep.
And then your to-do list and today's leads, and you can track your how much water you drank and workouts, and just do it all on one page. So here's what I would ask you to do. If I coached you, if you paid me $1,000 an hour for this advice, you'd do it. So I'm going to ask you to pretend Or if you want, I can give you my Venmo handle if you'd feel better about the engagement. But pretend you're paying me $1,000 an hour. And I said, I want you to order this planner, just 3 months. That's all I want you to do, $20 a month for 3 months. And just do this. Plan your week, record your day. My experience is the most effective people that I've ever known or coached or interviewed got more done by noon, hence the name, than the average person does all day. And so, in a nutshell, that's what I would ask you to think about right now, you guys, is decide, commit, succeed, um, relax, look around, make a call. And then the most recent one, of course, which I have not yet memorized. Bear with me a quick second, unless you find it before I do.
The fight, flight, freeze response.
No, it was the, sorry, you guys, somebody's going to
Don't
type
panic,
it in
stop,
there.
assess,
That's the
redeploy.
one. Stop,
Yeah, I
assess,
was like,
and
we'll get
redeploy.
there.
Stop, assess, and redeploy. This is not common, and it's antithetical to a lot of people right now because it just feels like, I got to be someplace doing something else, but it's not this.
Yeah.
And instead I would say, figure out what this is, lean into those things, be open to the idea that things may evolve and change.
Yeah.
But what I know from a coach's chair is that the more clarity that we have about the activities that we're committed to, if we commit to the activities, the results will actually take care of themselves. And right now, you guys, I'm in the mortgage business, it's all about quality conversations, digging into what people are experiencing. You're going to find people that want to move down, they want to move up, they want an investment property, they want to move away. The last kid just went to college. But how does this happen? They're not calling you automatically. We need to touch them and love on them. And I'll leave you with this thought. My best man at my wedding, Harold Dyke, 40 years ago, he would say, when I am going to sit down and make some calls, I would say, when they answer the phone, "Hi, Sasha, you just walked across my mind. It's been a while since we've spoken. How's it going?"
Yeah.
What a cool line. Like, you just walked across my mind. It's a great visual.
Yeah.
Instead of, "Hey, I have 25 calls to make today because I'm broken. I need to feed my family. Are you thinking about buying or selling real estate? How about refinancing?"
Yeah.
Right? You just walked across my mind. So there you go, folks. I got to jump into another call, Sasha. I'm going to let you wrap it up from here. Any
Perfect.
final questions or comments or about what I just shared here?
Anything in the chat? Waiting. I'm going to give everyone a chance to ask that question and just double down on what you just said. I wrote an article about it earlier this week about in the hallways and the conversations we have when we're networking at events, and be genuine. Don't make it about you.
Yeah,
I firmly believe that if you do the right things, the opportunities will present themselves.
absolutely.
And so I double down on that message for sure. And
I
in
love it.
that, I'm filling in the time to see, may I have Bill's line again? Okay, there were three. I'm going to
Yeah.
repeat them based on what I wrote down. So
Well,
fight.
I think
I mean,
she's referring to the phone call line,
oh
which
yes.
is, "Hey, Sasha, insert name here. You just walked across my mind. I'm just checking in on you. How are you guys? You just walked across my mind." That's the thing to hang on to. It's just such a, yeah, thank you for that, Sonia.
Yep.
Look
It
at
is
you paying
okay.
attention out there.
We're
So
both doing
cool.
it. Tag
All
teaming
right,
it.
you guys, I got to hop on another Zoom. Imagine that. So great hanging with you. You guys, your Momentum Builder is a community that can have an impact on your business and your life if you connect. And so you're going to have some options to be able to stay connected with us over time. People like Sasha and I and many others are very excited to be a part of this group. And we want to hang out with you because right now, what I know is you don't want to feel like you're alone, and we can all navigate this time together. We'll be on the mountaintop again, looking down, but
Absolutely.
now is not the time. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and do the work. So, Sasha, thank you for your help. I got to bail. I'll let you take it from here.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you. For
You
those
bet.
that are going to hang on, and hopefully most, if not all of you do, going to walk through what's coming up next. Also here to answer any questions. So Sonia, do you want to lead up the slides? All right. So, I mean, Bill sold Momentum Builder perfectly. Not a whole lot more for me to say, but if you haven't already downloaded the app, I really encourage that you do. That's where you'll see the information on these webinars. We do almost every week. You can do it on, if you're an Android user on Google, if you're an Apple user at the App Store, there's the information there. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We also, like the community, like to put in, I do a Motivational Monday newsletter. So I'll just do like a little brief version of it in there. So it gives you something to marinate on each week. And feel free to add your content, right? We want to hear what you're up to, and you can always ask questions and lean on each other. Next slide. I think, yep, we're going to be launching out a premium membership that's going to have some more exclusive and intimate events, as well as the call that we just had with Bill Hart. You're going to have more one-on-one intimate time with, and some really like deeper conversations around coaching. So stay tuned for that, and we'll keep you posted there. And then I think, yeah, so next week we'll be taking a break just so that we can focus on the Modern Mortgage Summit. That's where Don and Gino will be. There is limited seats in person, and it is virtual as well. But you won't see a webinar from Momentum Builder next week, just so we can honor and respect both the event, but also let our folks be present there as well. And then I think after that, next up on the list will be, oh my God, it'll be April by then. Geez Louise, guys, where's this year going? So on April 4th, we're gonna have Alex at Trust Engine come on and do a session. And then we've got our speaker coach, Michael Mayer, that'll be on April 11th. So mark your calendar for those. Thank you for laughing at me. I appreciate it when people laugh at me, so it's not just me alone. I laugh at myself every day. It's a very healthy practice. But yeah, keep those on your calendar. We'll send you an email if you're on our list. And then I don't know, Sonia, is that it? I think that might be all the other extra housekeeping.
That was it.
Perfect. We'll hope you love this
26
session.
minutes back.
Yep, get some time back on your calendar so that you can go, if you haven't already, write down what you're going to do today and